Yes, there have been mistakes have been made from the people who were actually managing the project because of the slow progress, and the political scenario actually changed in 2001 and it became like a political hot potato. Forget the planning and technical issues and all those things. Since 2005, we have been actually battling regarding the planning application. In 2005, we have to actually defer the planning application because of the threat of the BNP. At that time, the BNP was actually, they were strong contestant in one of the local authorities' ward, and they did win that ward, but that was Castle and Priory. So, on the discussion with the mainstream parties and the officers, we withdrew that planning application. Came 2007, we submitted the planning application. The technicality point of view, it was fine. The officers approved the planning application, and all the three mainstream parties, because of the far-right issues, they actually rejected in the planning committee. That I'm talking about Labour, Lib Dem, and the Conservatives. In 2008, we went to the High Court in Ombudsman. A public inquiry took place, and our planning application or appeal was upheld. So we were successful in securing the outline planning application for the mosque. The local authority, which was, I think, run at that time by Conservative, they did not appeal against any of the planning applications on the same area, except the mosque. So they took us to the High Court again, and in 2009, within 1.5 hours, the case was thrown out, and our planning application was upheld. So that is a brief scenario. Since 2010, we had 3 protests in 2010 from the EDL against the mosque. There was a lot of myths going on that it's 18 million pounds and it's public funds and everything. I can assure you one thing, it's not 18 million pounds, it's around about 7 to 8 million pounds. 75% of that development is for training and enterprise, education centre, community centre, and sports and leisure. People who are from Dudley, it's actually the worst deprived ward in Dudley and the whole of the country. It's in St. Thomas's ward, where we are lacking a lot of community facilities, especially for youngsters, female section of the community, and elders. And 25% is for the prayers hall, and everybody is welcome to attend that also. It's not an issue, but 75% of that is for the whole and wider community. And similarly, the management structure of that will comprise of the whole of the wider community rather than just Muslim community. So, along with our friends, Martin, Jerry, and others, we have worked together collectively and not protested, I would say, but joined together forces to actually stand up against the EDL since 2010. And that was to mobilize, to plan ahead, to work together, and make it as a celebration event rather than protesting, but involving people from all sections of lives and walks and all different religions and faith groups. That was the success of that. One thing I would strongly condemn, that people who say, oh, let them do their work and let them come and go and we shouldn't be standing up. No, that is not the case. We have to stand up against them, and we have to show the solidarity and show that we are united and we are standing shoulder to shoulder. It's not against one particular group or race or religion. Today it's Muslims, tomorrow it will be somebody else. Yesterday it was Jewish, it was Irish in Birmingham or things like that. It will be the case. They are not just going, they are targeting today this Muslims because of Islamophobia, and I'm going to come to that also, but it's either the color or the race or the religion, and those are the people that we have to stand against them. In terms of IS and Islamophobia, I will not let them use my name, and I shouldn't be apologetic, or any Muslim shouldn't be apologetic because of that. That's the way it is. Like others, my parents came here in 1958. For the past 50, 60 years, they have been living very peacefully over here. We have good relations with all the mainstream, all the wider society. So having an excuse of something which is happening in 5,000 miles, I shouldn't be responsible for that. And I shouldn't be apologetic for that, neither anybody else. And the same thing is what's happened in France or Paris. We condemn that strongly. We should not allow people to actually take lives because they do not agree with anything like that. And that's the bottom line in that. But equally, we don't let people to spread their hatred as an excuse of what's happened in Paris or what's happening in Iraq or what IS is doing. And that's why we need to stand up for that. Similarly, I mean, in Dudley, Martin has touched, we have been facing racism from quite some time, whether it's the form of National Front or BNP or now the UKIP, such that our current MP is openly saying there should be a controlled immigration, and it's a Labour MP. That sort of level of right-wing politics we are actually facing at the moment. And this is the landscape and this is the scenario which is happening. But the main thing is the austerity, the financial, I mean the current, austerity and the current employment is actually the excuse and inflaming the racism and hatred. And these people are actually making excuse and blaming the immigrants and other people as a scapegoat. At the moment, the current, I mean, in Dudley, what's happening is everywhere, all these immigrants. And the second thing is the mosque. Those are the two key elements for election campaigns are going on. I can't see, there's nobody's talking about the austerity, nobody's talking about the NHS, or the things which matter to us as our common people. And yes, it is tough in Dudley. We are not sure what's going to happen, but at the same time, people are miffed with the mainstream politics, and that's why the alternative they are choosing is like that UKIP and other areas. That's all. Thank you so much for your time.